Good evening, Vergers, and welcome to 30-something and Verging. My name is Anthony, and I am excited to be here with y'all on tonight. Yes, I am the Anthony who Akilah is always talking to, her production manager. Tonight, for the season finale, we will be interviewing our very own host for 30-something and Verging, Akilah herself. We're going to get all in her business and see her experience as a first-year host for 30-something and Verging. So now, let's welcome Akilah herself.
Oh my God, I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful, I'm so excited. I'm just kidding, y'all. What's up, Virgins? Thank you all for joining us again for our season 1 season finale. And I'm gonna stop talking because I am the guest host and Anthony is the host for tonight.
But remember, it is your show. You worked very hard for it. Starting us off, are you excited to answer some viewer questions and share your experience as your first season of your very own podcast? You have your own podcast.
Yeah, it's like sort of surreal because I've always talked about doing this. It's been something that's like been in my mind for years. I can remember like when they first came out with podcasts, like going onto this little podcasting site. I was living in Walls, Mississippi, so that was about. I've been in Houston for 5 years, and this was like my first year in Walls, and I stayed in Walls for 5 years. So this was almost 10 years ago. Going on a website and like, oh, I'd set up a whole little account. I was like, I'm gonna start a podcast. Did nothing. But thankful enough, God moved some stuff around last year, and I was able to get connected with Anthony and do some other stuff, some soul searching, and I was able to push myself to start a podcast. And here we are. So I'm excited to answer the real questions.
So, first question. How did the Akilah get into podcasting?
Like I said, it was something that I thought about long time ago. I've been watching other people do podcasts. A couple that actually pushed me, and they don't know that they pushed me. They don't even know me. They're a young couple, De'Ara and Ken. Mm-hmm. I was watching De'Ara and Ken. They're so funny. De'Ara, she Chef D, Chef Boyardee, whatever it is, and Ken is just so humble and nice and sweet to her, whatever. So I was just watching. I was like, these kids, they're making a living. They're multi-millionaires, and they're not 30, and they're making a living off of telling people about their lives, traveling and doing different things. And I was like, I want to get into this. This is like something I want to do because I want to be able to retire at least when I'm 45 and just be able to travel the world and do different things and get into a different avenue other than education, because I am in education.
A great one at that.
Thank you. He's one of my former students. But I decided last year, this is 2020. So in 2018, I was like, I'm gonna do a book, I'm gonna launch a podcast. I wrote all this stuff down. I'm gonna start my clothing line. So the clothing line was supposed to be the first thing that came out. And I had a hiccup. Student loan was like, nah, B.
Not yet.
Nah, B, you gonna give us right now. So student loan did something to my spirit, and I'm a very, very frugal person, so I had to decide, like, are you going to also venture out into your business, or are you just gonna go ahead and knock student loan out the way? So I decided, handle business first. I was like, I'm gonna knock student loan off first because I still need to be saving on the side too, because you never know when a rainy day comes. Yeah. So I put my boutique, Love Allure, on the back burner. I'd already went and got the EIN. I went and got my seller's permit. I already went ahead and got my logo and stuff. I did all that. But when student loan started knocking at my door, I was like, wait a minute, you really want to mess with me right now? Like, can you leave me alone? But they didn't want to. Sally Mae doesn't want to do that. So I handled what I needed to handle with student loan, and I was still saving on the side. So I was like, I got to think about this in another way. So I talked to my god sister, Marquita. And Marquita was like, Akilah, look at other stuff that you want to do. Like, just move some stuff around. The boutique doesn't have to be the thing that starts you. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I decided to go ahead and push my book. And I was like, once I pushed the book,
very successful.
Thank you. It is. It was a #1 bestseller on Amazon for 4 weeks in a row. But I decided to go ahead and do the book, and I said, when I do the book at the same time, I'm going to push the podcast. And I was just like, I have stuff to talk about. I can share like my experiences about life and different things like that. So that's how I got into the podcasting.
Great answer. I'm loving it, because if it wasn't for those thoughts, you wouldn't be here today.
Right. I would not be here today if I hadn't worked my mind and wrote it down. I write out everything.
She does. She has a book with everything. I could go back to the other episode and be like, yep, this is what we talked about. But speaking on thoughts, where did you get the name 30-something and Verging from?
So this is hilarious. So initially the name was supposed to be 30-something and Verging. Virgin. Verging, like a virgin, like that. Like, so it was supposed to be about things that we were virgins at, like kissing, going on trips, jumping off a cliff, sex, whatever.
Being a virgin.
Whatever you were a virgin at. And then I was like, oh no, I feel like that's intrusive. What else could it be? And I was like, virgin. What are you on the verge of? Like, you're 30-something and you're on the verge of something, Akilah. Like, what is it? So I was like, look, you're on the verge of success. You're on the verge of writing a book. So, like, everybody else is on the verge of something, too. Whether they're 30-something, 40-something, 50-something, or what. Like, we're all on the verge of something. So that really stuck with me. I sent it to my team. And my team is my friends. I was like, what y'all think about this? And everybody was like, yeah, that was dope. And then the tagline came right after I thought about it, like a podcast about life is quirk and all the shit was on the verge of. So once that came to my mind, I was like, it's it. Like the verge, big, like the talking about like I was a virgin to a kiss or a drink or whatever. That's not it. This is it. So that's how I got to 30-something and Verging.
And a fun thing was when I was making the logo for 30-something and Verging, I thought I spelled it wrong. If you came back and said, no, we're going to change it to Verging instead of Virgin. I was like, did I mess up? Did she change it because of me? But no, it worked out. Because if you are new here, I need you to go listen on all podcast platforms. Again, we are a podcast about life, its quirks, and all the things we're on the verge of. Not some things, but all. Not something that you were just going through, but what we going through.
Exactly.
So yeah. So we do have a special caller on tonight. The first one we have is Miss Nikki Brooks.
Yes.
Can we give her a call?
Give Nikki a call now. Oh, gotta put these headphones on.
We're in the studio.
Hello?
Hello, is this Nikki?
Yes, it is. Hi, Akilah.
Hey, Nikki. How are you? Sorry, we're
I'm
running
good,
a little
girl.
behind. Thank you.
No worries.
Well, I am actually being interviewed, so I'm gonna let my host, actually go ahead and start the conversation.
Hello, Miss Nikki. How are you on tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So we're gonna jump right into the questions and the nitty gritty. So being a guest host on one of the episodes for 30-something and Verging, what has been the most exciting part of recording your episode?
Wow, the most exciting part, and I think we had a 2-part episode with 30 Something and Verging. But number one, Akilah allowing me to just share some things. We had just a very organic, very natural conversation that flowed, and she allowed me to really she has a lot of good questions, number one, and then she allowed me to really hash out my thoughts. But there were a lot of things that she said that were pretty profound. It was interesting because we were talking about some common events and how they kind of impact women. And there were a couple of things that Akilah said that really, actually, I was the guest host, but the things she said stuck with me. And one of those things that she talked about was in relationships, which is just my thing anyway, how her expectation is, if I got this person, hey, you my king, and I'm telling you, I'm giving you these tools to enhance you, because that's kind of why you chose me in the first place. And I'm not critiquing you, I'm not tearing you down, I'm giving you what I have to go to the next level, and I pretty much want you to value and appreciate that. So that part actually stuck with me out of everything that we said. And I've shared that with some other young women, and encouraging them to kind of hear in the podcast to say, hey, I what you're saying, someone else is saying too, you're not crazy.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you for that answer. My next question for you is, when Akilah reached out to you to be a guest host on 30 Something and Verging, what was going through your mind?
Well, I was excited at first. So Akilah and I, we met a couple years ago at nail shop, actually. And we both were just talking. She's from Mississippi, my family's from Mississippi. And one thing about Akilah at the time, she was teaching, you just like black girl magic all in the brain. That's all I can say. We connected on Facebook, so I followed her. We've had some connections throughout the years. I know some of the transitions and things she's done in her career. So when she asked me, I was flattered. That's an honor, because to be able to, for someone, you're working so hard to build a platform and a brand and have integrity with it, and you got a message and you got a heart and an intent, and to bring someone else in that you would trust with that, I don't take that lightly, and I didn't take it lightly from Akilah at all. So definitely I was flattered, and I was like, let me get my stuff together and prepare so I can, be ready to have this conversation with this amazing and intelligent black woman. So that's what's going through my head.
Okay. And you were totally wonderful. Like, you said stuff that was amazing, different things that I just like. When I finished our conversation, I was like, I gotta go step my game up too, like, and think about other aspects and think about things in a different manner. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that what I was thinking was wrong, but also like encouraging and pushing myself to be able to see things from other sides and understand things in other ways as well.
Yeah, that iron was definitely sharper than iron then, because a lot of stuff sparked with me, so that was great. I'm glad.
Okay. And last thing from you, actually, on the show we have a segment called Sass Talk. As Akilah is adventuring into her season 2 of her own show. First of all, can we clap that up? It is her show. I can't emphasize that enough.
Yes.
It's exciting.
What is one piece of Sass Talk you would give to Akilah as she is on this journey?
One piece of advice that I would give to Akilah is, okay. So, one piece of advice that I would give to Akilah is just keep it pushing, and keep it going, and don't give up. As long as it's in your heart, you've got something to say. The world is waiting to hear it, and no matter how big or how small your audience may feel to you, it's still valuable, it is still important, and it still needs to be put out in the earth. Whether you are speaking or whether you are making the connections for other people too, it's important, and there is nothing that is too small. And I know people like to say that, and I'm along with it, but I'm trying to make my little analogy short. But I think about what's going on right now with voting. Right now, you see so many black people all over America who are voting early and in record numbers and standing in line. And it's not just because we have an Orange Klansman in office. It is because you have had people in the trenches activists and people going out, and people, not even just activists, teachers, janitors, whoever they are, telling their family and friends. You have a record number of felons who didn't know their voting rights could be restored, who have gotten their voting rights restored because each one has reached one. And now we see this collective thing happening in momentum. Momentum don't really happen off just one person. It happens off the collective. So my point is that be a part of the momentum. Keep being a part of the momentum. You talk about verging. You talk about your just generation of 30-something. What you're doing is important. Your voice is important. Your heart is important. That your tribe is listening to you. They're out there. They need you. Keep going.
Thank you, Nikki. And I just want to give a shout out too, because I saw you, I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me right now, but you were just on a podcast and you were talking about voting rights. Well, it may not have been a podcast, but you had a
Uncomfortable Combos.
Uncomfortable Combos.
It was Shall We Proceed?
Yes,
with, Elise Main. Yeah.
You were just on there, and it was actually live on Facebook, right? Because you did a party, watch party for
she did it through a Facebook live. Sure did.
And it was totally awesome.
We had to log in through something. I don't even remember what we logged in through something else.
Okay.
But go ahead.
But that was awesome, so I wanted to shout you out for that, because I know that you also do a lot of speaking with other podcasters, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, you talked about like mentoring young women and different things like that. So you want to plug in your information right here so people know?
Yeah, so people can find me online on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter at Nikki Brousseau1. I am definitely a social media thought provoker, not really a thought influencer, but I am a thought provoker, and a writer in my spare time. I do relationship coaching and mentor people. I also do ally coaching for people, do a lot of anti-racism work. In addition to that, I am a part of of a podcast myself that is called TSFP, and that is the Strange Fruit podcast that I do along with Bishop Green and Adrian Neely. And we post our podcast on a couple of streaming platforms, and we do have a Facebook page. Not really kind of expanded to IG yet, but we do have a Facebook page. And so people, for the most part, can find me online. And if you have room for this plug, I also am Southeast Houston's Yard Card Queen. So I am the newest owner of the Yard Card Queen franchise. And so if you have an event, let me card your yard. So
awesome. Okay. She'll be carding my log cabin yard for my birthday.
I sure will.
Well, from us here at 30-something and Verging, first we would like to thank you for being a guest host on one of the episodes. It's a process. So thank you for taking out time in your day. Thank you for being a caller today and just giving encouraging words to Akilah. So thank you for that.
Okay, guys. Well, I love y'all so much.
Love
I
you
love
too.
you. Your audience is amazing. Keep it up, girl. Keep logging. Keep sending me those words. I be having to go through all kind of hoops to get on that week thing, but I'm gonna figure it out. So
okay.
I'm gonna figure it out. The day I have less steps, but you are amazing. So please keep it up.
All right. Thank you so much, Nikki. You enjoy your weekend. Okay.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So, moving right along. Question for you, Miss Akilah.
Okay.
What has been the most, I don't want to be average right now. What has been the highest point of your season 1?
Oh gosh, the highest point of my season 1.
Make you think.
I promise. So I can say recording the Kobe episode was a high point, and it was a high point because I had been recording with a guest host like all the time, and I wound up having to do the Kobe episode by myself. But it caused me to open up and like be okay with being by myself. Then there were others, like there's so many good episodes. Like I loved my conversation with my god sister Marquita. She almost had me crying on here talking about like her move and trusting like the manifestation of like God and how he moves within you. My sister Savine was on one that was totally dope, where we just talked about like life and different stuff. And then you and Aaliyah were on one, Parents Just Don't Understand. That was also a good high point too, because we got a chance to give you all a voice, right? Because I think that everybody deserves an an opportunity to speak and say and share like what they're feeling, like what they're dealing with. And like, I'm not gonna lie, like Nikki, when Nikki and I were talking, I think my hands was up in the air. I was screaming. The entanglement one. Oh my God. Talking about entanglements, and then doing the one on voting and school. Because I am I am an educator through and through. If it be in the classroom or if it be in like voting or whatever, that's a big part of me. So those have all been big parts.
It's been times we were recording and a student call, a previous student call. We were like, we can't talk right now.
He might be talking about you, Tayana. Happy birthday, Tayana. Today, Tayana turned 21. That's Malison's mama. I think I got her name right. I'm gonna make sure Tayana watch this so I can see because normally I call her Maleficent or Tamay, something like that. So hopefully I got that baby name right.
All right. Well, before we go to the next question, we're gonna take a little break and give a shout out to our sponsor, and so we'll be right back.
All right. We're pausing right now to give a quick shout out to our hosting site, Anchor.fm. Anchor.fm is a podcast hosting site that you can utilize for free. Anchor has all types of creation tools that you can utilize right from your cell phone or from your computer or laptop. Anchor also gives you the opportunity to monetize yourself by giving you sponsorships. Another great thing that Anchor does is it distributes all of your podcasts to other podcasting platforms like Google, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, RadioCast, and many, many more. All you have to do is take a second and go to Anchor.fm and download this app, and then you can get started. It's just that simple. If you have a podcast in mind, or if you're ready to start your own podcast, Anchor.fm is the place for you.
Welcome back from the break. I hope you were able to gain something from our very own sponsors and that you might want to start your own podcast for free. Do you remember it's for free? Did you hear what she said? For free.
For free.
Manifesting it.
Like Drake. Drake, the song for free, right?
Probably, I think so.
I think you got it.
For free. Back to you, Miss Akilah. What has been the least, the lowest, the probably like, we got to work on this?
So I can't say that I've had a low, right? But I can say that there has been consistent growth and it is exciting. I think when you're like, for me, if y'all ever heard the saying, find something that you love and you'll never work a day in your life, like for me, this isn't work. For me, I'm excited to come and do this. I'm excited to think about what it is.
On Fridays, we talk all day. You know we record on Fridays.
So I guess I'm trying to tell y'all he's sick of me. But we legit do talk on Fridays. Like for me, the problems or the things that we have progress from were always like something to learn from, right? So like how we started to do the video promo, like the little short video promos. I think I was more, because I am. People will be like, "You're a teacher. How are you shy?" I am extremely shy. Like I don't like to talk to people.
Same way, I'm a speaker and I got social anxiety.
Right, you know. So like it's like those things I've consistently grown from. Like pushing myself to join different groups. Like I have a good friend. Shout out to Gregory Neely Jr., my classmate, class of 2000. It's our 20-year class reunion. Whoo, shit, I'm old. But it's our 20-year class reunion. So shout out to Aggies, Coahoma Agricultural High School, class of 2000. We are the best class that ever graced that campus. So thank you all. Hope everybody's well. Rest in peace to those of the ones that we've lost. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I feel like everything was a learning point. So like me breaking out of my shyness, me getting comfortable being on camera by myself. I'm like Anthony, sometimes I be talking so fast, you know what's going on, what's on my mouth, whatever. Different things like that. Joining Greg, and what I said Greg Names for was because Greg invited me to join this podcasting group. And since I've joined that joined that podcasting group, I've gained so much more confidence in what I'm doing, because you have so many people on there that are going through the same exact thing that you're going through. May have low viewerships. People are scared to subscribe because they think that if they subscribe to us, they have to pay for something, when in actuality it's free. You already paying for it on your phone. Yeah. So if you got an Apple phone, you already paying for Apple Podcasts on your phone. Yeah. You got a Samsung, you're paying for Google Podcasts. Right? So like all this stuff you're already paying for. If you already have Spotify has podcasts.
Yeah, Spotify is free.
Yep.
It's free.
That's what they say. See, I didn't
or
know
you
it's
could
free.
just go to her website. Did I mention she has a brand in her website? You can listen for free on there also.
See, and while he's talking about us talking all the time, I wasn't supposed to have this. Okay? This was all, I said something to him and this came. I was like, for my book, I need to have a landing page where people can go and see my book. And he came to my classroom and he was like, oh, okay, Ms. Bowser, what you want to have on this page? And what you want to have right here? What you want to have right here? I was like, so they going to be able to see all of this? And he was like, yeah, we'll be able to do this, we'll be able to do that. Oh, okay then. So, whatever you want to do, go right ahead. But then, like, I always tell him, any idea I have, either he on the same page as me or he's thinking 2 steps ahead of me for what I need, right? Because like God, and I said God, yes. He spoke to me and he told me that I was gonna have a brand, but I was like, a brand of what? I'm gonna be
a brand of what?
Because when he be talking to you, sometimes your listening is a little clouded, right? Like when he's talking to you, so I'm like, a brand. And then the next day when I was telling Anthony about this page, all I wanted was a landing page simply for my books, because I didn't want Amazon to get all my money. Yeah. I didn't want Amazon to get all my money, y'all. So Anthony I told Anthony, I need a page, because I saw all these other authors that had their own little landing page that you just go to, type it in. But that birthed this. So that's why I said each low point was actually a learning point, and it helped push me and excel. It helped me to push and excel in other areas of the podcast.
And she spoke on my next topic. I was gonna say, because during school before COVID came in and messed everything up, on Fridays I'll be in her room mostly all day after class. In her room, we were discussing what we're gonna do for tonight's episode. What can we do for this? What can we do for this? And literally that site, it took about a week for the design and about 2 weeks just to get it up and like everything finished. But that's because we worked hard on it. She told me after I forced the brand, she told me exactly what she wanted, and hopefully I was able to come through with it.
Yes, came through with everything. When I say everything that I asked for, and y'all don't understand, I'm tech savvy, but I ain't tech savvy. Like, I know enough to get me by, and then Anthony knows the rest.
And that's the thing I was gonna say next. You have most people out there who just rely on their team, man. They're like, I'm the face of the company, but they ain't did nothing. Akilah works hard. She's studying. I introduced her to YouTube University. I would text her, what you doing on YouTube? She learning something new, but that's how we start. That's where I started. So yeah, you've come a long way.
I did.
So now we're gonna have our next caller. We have Miss Tiffany.
Yes, we're gonna call my homie Tiffany. She in Nashville. She gonna kill me, y'all, because I'm a few minutes late calling her. But
a lot goes on behind the scenes.
I promise y'all, we be working. Working. I hope y'all are enjoying the show as much as we are, because we having a legit fun.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Hey, Tip.
Hey, girl. Hey.
First, I would like to thank you for being a caller on 30 Something and Verging Season 1 finale. It is the finale. How are you? You good?
No problem.
So, starting off with our first question for you, what was your experience like being a guest host on 30 Something and Verging?
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Say that again for me.
first question is, what was your experience like being a guest host on 30 Something and Verging?
Well, it was my first podcast, so that was exciting. It was really, really fun. Me and Akilah go way back. But it was just really fun and like just being able to talk about different issues that go on in the Black community, even things that were not issues. It was just all around a good vibe. I really enjoyed it.
Okay. I know this has been a long season, so I need you to think back to your episode. What was your favorite moment of your episode?
She did a couple.
Yeah, true. So anyone that you would like?
I think all of them were my favorite, just because they were either talking about things like entanglement or things dealing with, Black women. And those were the things that, the Black community wants to hear about, but also needs to hear about, different perspectives from millennials and things like that. So I don't really think I have a favorite. I think all of them were my favorite.
So Tip, you gonna be on season 2. This idea just popped in my head. I had to stop Anthony. I put my hand on him. I said, hold on, because I gotta let my girl know. We gonna have a great. Okay. We gotta have a great sweatpants conversation. We gotta have one. We gotta have what? We gotta have a great sweatpants conversation. Like we was ready for that. we got to have one.
Every season, it blesses me every season.
We got to have one. We got. So I just want you to know, season 2, you coming on. That's gonna be one of our topics.
And I will be.
Okay,
I'm looking forward to that episode.
Yeah.
That might have to be episode 2.
It's gonna have to be episode 2.
At the beginning of the season.
Yes, because it's sweatpants time. Okay, I'm sorry. Go
ahead. Don't nothing bless you in the fall like a good gray sweatpants, baby.
Oh gosh.
See, this is what happened behind the scenes, y'all.
Oh my God. But you gotta. I have been this way, and we're going to get back to Tip because I want Tip to have her time and enjoy herself on this episode as well. But ever since I was a kid, when the idea pops in my head, I either have to get it out, write on a piece of paper or something. My roommate hated me when we were in college because I would be waking up in the middle of the night writing poems on pieces of actual paper or brown paper bags or whatever. I would do that. So when this idea just popped in my head because I saw Tip's post earlier about them sweatpants, and I was like, we got to talk about every aspect of it.
Them gray sweatpants will bless your face with every season.
Just a little touch. I mean, go ahead, Anthony.
Yes, ma'am.
Getting back to your questions. So 30 Something and Verging debuted on January 26th of 2020. How has the podcast from your eyes evolved from the first episode to episode 30 or yet?
Yep, we're episode 30.
Oh wow. It has I've seen it really take off. And I think with anyone that's starting a podcast, it's a give and take, it's a learning experience. But one thing that I do know that when Akilah puts her mind to things, she hits the ground running. But I think it took off. I don't think she knew how quick it was going to take off because I enjoy listening to it. I normally do walks or runs in the morning, and that was one of the podcasts I would do either my morning walkthrough or my evening run. So I really enjoyed them, and I could hear the difference in each episode. It got better and better. It started off with things. Learning about a business and how to create a business and how to go forth unto, and went on into things that were important to the Black community, whether it was relationships or wealth or self-esteem or mental health. So I think it took off really quick, but it touched all the bases of the Black community, and I really enjoyed it.
Y'all hit the subscribe. I just want y'all to understand this is a subscriber. This ain't somebody that just for doing some homework. She actually listened and she subscribed to the channel.
I subscribe.
Thank you for being a loyal subscriber. But speaking on what you just noted, on the managing side of the show, you can see where your podcast is being listened at. And aren't you listening overseas? Don't you have listeners overseas?
Yes, I do have listeners overseas. Let me tell y'all. So, let me just go to the app right quick because I was actually looking at that because it's going to be part of my Manifesting Mondays, talking about like what I've manifested. So, when you look at my analytics for now, I am being listened to in Ireland, Bahrain, Nigeria, India, United Kingdom, Germany, Jamaica, Kenya, Singapore, the Philippines, Egypt, and Canada.
Now you tell me about that.
Yes.
I don't think Akilah would have known. She would have been listening in these places when we first started on January 26th of 2020 on that first episode.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever crossed her mind because she thinks about a lot and she writes everything down, but I don't think she wrote that down.
I did not have a plan not to be in these places. And to be honest, like Kenya, Singapore, the Philippines, Egypt, and Canada, and Germany, and India, and Nigeria are new. Ireland and Bahrain and the United Kingdom had been on here for a while. And Jamaica, they had been on here for a while, but the other ones are new. So thank you, God. Thank you, all the viewers and new people that are listening. Thank you to the Pod Squad on Facebook. Thank you to the Anchor Pod Squad Facebook page as well, because we're doing a lot of following with each other, different podcasters, and sharing information and getting people to be on the shows. And you're coming and subscribing to the channel. So thank you all so much for that.
And my next question for you is, how has Akilah grown as a host and a business since the start of the year?
Oh, wow.
That's a good question.
Like I said, I've known Akilah for a few years now, so I'm not surprised that she would make an excellent host. I mean, she's an English connoisseur. But, with business, like, I've seen her grow. She's always talked about things she wanted to do, business-wise and things like that. Like, we used to talk about it. She would spit out ideas, and they were good ideas. So I think what she did was put pen to paper and put manifested thoughts into reality. And I think she did a very good job at it. Like, no business is going to be easy, but I think she did the things that need to be done. She prayed about it. She wrote down a business plan. She, made sure all her T's were crossed, her I's were dotted, and she just stepped out on faith, and it worked out. It worked out really good.
It worked out for the good. All right. Well, thank you for being a guest on our season finale. Again, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for being on the show in our episodes and being part of the journey.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you so much, Tiff. Thank you for also being patient too as we were going through our little things tonight. So thank you so much for that. Do you have anything that you want to plug, like a business that's coming up or anything you got going on?
No, catch me in 2021. I may
Okay, I heard that.
pull something out the hat. Oh, I am working on my life coach certification. So I'm looking into possibly starting my own life coach business. So that'll probably be coming out mid 2021, late 2021.
That means we gotta talk then. We gotta talk like offline so I can tell you some stuff that I've been looking into. Okay. Cool. Well, thank you so much for being on tonight, friend. I really appreciate it so much.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. Good night.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Miss Tiffany. Next, we have our very own Miss Marquita. Do y'all remember Marquita?
They should. Everybody should know my god sister. Right. That's my best buddy. Marquita Shante Perry.
Let's give her up a call.
Yeah, she'd be like, from the state. Give her a call.
And while you're here, scroll down. Yeah, scroll down. Click subscribe. Click the bell next to it. And yeah, just share.
Awesome. Please like and comment as well.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
All right, how are you?
Doing well. Thank you for asking.
PZF baby. PZF baby. Please say the baby. That's her nickname now, y'all. I gave her the nickname let me tell y'all before Anthony gets into questions. We grew up together. We've been friends for 20 plus years. And I used to call her MP. And then all these other folks started calling her MP. So I was like, oh, okay, y'all want that? Y'all had it. P, what's up? What's up? So nobody else called her P, but P, because that's my best bud. Okay, I'm sorry. Off my soapbox and back to my reunion.
So yes, as you know, we are recording 30 Something Verging Season 1 reunion. It has been a great journey, and you have been a part of the journey. So my first question for you is, how was your experience on your episodes, plural, of 30 Something Verging?
I mean, this my eighth, so great. You know, anytime we get together, it's a good time. So,
All right, now.
well, I'm happy. I'm, excited whenever I'm doing something with her, especially with something I know that's dear to her heart. So that right there just was, it was a blessing for both of us to be where we at in our lives and the growth that we have overcome, from, like she said, 20-some years of knowing each other to where we are now, in our full-grown womanhood.
Say
that. Just seeing her, just being a part of her, blossoming in that full womanhood, is a blessing. It's amazing. It's just freaking awesome.
Yes.
Marquita, Anthony doesn't think that I am shy. But can you explain to them that I'm actually really shy, like a really shy person?
Well,
oh, she
that's the thing. Because, it reminds me of when Janet Jackson and Michael both have said the same thing, that they are shy. And you wouldn't think it because they performers. So what you do, your performance is different from, your homebody time. Like if somebody gets you out in public, you might be shy or whatever, but when it's time to get stuff done, that's your performance side, or that's your animal side where say you got to handle business.
Host side.
My Sasha Fierce. What's up, sister wife Beyonce? What's up?
And so, going on how you said that it's been amazing being on the show, what was your most favorite moment of being on a recorded episode?
You said what was my favorite moment?
Yes.
He's referencing your episode. Like, what's the favorite part of the episode?
I mean, the whole episode. Just, to get the call. She didn't have to call me, even though I'm always here when she calls, but, the whole episode was my favorite. I mean, I don't know if you just, our vibe, we just josh together. Like, that's us. So, the whole episode was a vibe for me.
And that was my next question. What was going through your mind when she reached out to you to be on the show?
Finally.
Oh my God, he said finally. Like she wasn't gonna be out here.
I know, I knew my time was coming. I just didn't know quite what the topic was gonna be, but she know that, regardless of what the topic is, I can get in where I fit in. She don't surround herself with dumb people for a reason. So
I'm saying, she's saying it all. My favorite part of the episode, I think I said this a little bit earlier in tonight's episode, was that you were reminiscing. So Marquita's episode was manifestation, and she was talking about her life, and I just, oh my God, Anthony, we got to ask her because she done manifested some things. So Marquita was actually my Manifestation Monday post about a week or two ago. And I'm going to let Marquita share because on her first episode, she talked about how she was manifesting her dreams to move to a new state and do different things. And let's see if what happened, what she talked about in the episode, let's see how it came to fruition for her.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in the episode, just to give people a little recap, I was talking about how I ended up in Louisiana, being laid off. And,
going to the Lord in prayer, like, Father. Well, let me backtrack just a tad. Prior to that, prior to me getting laid off, I went to the Lord. I was working 2 jobs. I was like, Father, your girl can, roll with the best of them, but I'm tired. I'm like, these 2 jobs are kicking my butt. And, I was like, I need your, help, your advice. I need something. And he was like, my child, quit that part-time job. And I was like, see, that ain't what I, asked you for. Like, that ain't what I need to hear. I need money. That's what I need. I need more income. He said, no worries, my child. I got you. And 3 months later, I got laid off. And I'm like, I thought you had me. Like, what is going on? and I was like, oh, my goodness. I went full-time at the part-time job. And then I was like, look, this, even though I was full-time at the part-time job, it wasn't paying no bills like, my full-time job was. I was like, look, I really need your help. So whatever you want me to do, I'm prepared to do it. And he told me again, he was like, quit that job, my child. I'm like, who is talking to me?
This ain't God.
This is not my father. Because my father will put me on these streets, suffering.
Put you out of them streets.
Yeah. And so, I did quit it, and, when you telling people, like, I'm quitting the job, and they was like, you found another job? I'm in my part-time job, with my new, the part-time job that I turned into full-time, talking to them. They were like, you found another job? I'm like, no. They were like, did you get laid off from your full-time job? I'm like, yeah. Ain't this your only source of income? Yeah. I was like, when you're saying stuff out loud, it makes it sound crazy.
But you know why.
And they were like, so why you quitting that job? And the only answers I could give was the Lord told me to. And, the young people, ain't nobody say nothing crazy to me. They were just like, okay. Because young people, they like, you know your bills, you live your life. But the older people, they was like, go with God, baby. Go with God. So, I went with God, and it was coming up to my birthday, and Akilah asked me, she was like, what you want for your birthday? I said, a job. Because I was saying it loud so Lord can hear me. I done quit the full-time job. So, Lord, I still need a job. And so, I got a call from my old director, and asking me, did I have, I got laid off. And I'm like, who ran my business? But okay. Yeah, I got laid off. And, actually I had prospects. And I'm like, oh. So when I went back, I didn't go back far enough. So before I got laid off, my manager took a job in Louisiana. And he left in March. His last day at work, he was, we were saying our goodbyes. He was like, Marquita, I'm going to miss you most of all. I was like, oh, whatever. I'll see you in 6 months. I'm coming to Louisiana where you at. So that was in March when he left, when I told him that. And mind you, I had no plans. I didn't even know I was about to get laid off. So I had no plans of, of moving, in my mind. But when I, got connected with the director in Louisiana and started the job, I started September the 1st. So 6 months later, what I told Andy, I told him I'll be down there in 6 months. So 6 months later, I was down there. So, that's why, I'm mindful about the things I say, when I speak on others and when I speak on myself, because I'm going to try to manifest the best. Regardless if I know you, regardless if, if you haven't been the kindest to me, I'm still going to speak, love. Like, I have this saying, I'm not going to put my mouth on you. I mean, I'm not going to talk about you unless I'm trying to help you. If I talk about some of my situations because, hey, so-and-so going through something, you think we can help them out type of thing. I'm not, oh, you heard such. It's a shame, ain't it? No. And that's the people that I surround myself with, so that when we talk about, like, so going, we go try to help that person. Because You know, what's the sense in talking down on somebody that's already down?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody has been at a point where they were down. So, you know, I always think about, you know, when I was in my down, how I got up. You know, what humanly angel the Lord sent to me. So that's what, you know, I try to be a humanly angel for somebody else. But, yeah, you know, got down to Louisiana, hadn't planned on being there as long as I had. But me and Akilah had talked off and on about me moving from Louisiana. I wasn't settled on where I was going to go. You know, actually me and Akilah had talked about both of us moving to Texas when we were still staying in Walls. And, you know, so I thought that was a possibility. Atlanta, you know, always a possibility. It's just, you know, I wasn't settled on anything. And we didn't ever come settled, because I remember, you know, talking to Akilah about it, I was like, you know, I'm settled, I'm going to Atlanta. Was it last year?
Yeah, that was last year. You had said it last year that you was going to Atlanta. And then when that stuff happened with the lease, you was like, oh yeah, Atlanta it is. I'm gone.
yeah. I was like, one more year, that's it. I'm like, I'm not renewing my lease here. I'm like, I'm going to Atlanta. And, you know, when COVID hit, even though I said I was moving to Atlanta, it was a lot going on at my casino. Like, we had new systems in. We was doing quite a bit of things, and, you know, I just didn't have the time to, like, focus on making a move to Atlanta, because my thought process was to get a job before I got to Atlanta. You know, so, you know, when COVID hit, you know, I remember, like, you know, it takes something to stop you in your tracks. And that's exactly what COVID did, because I didn't realize it was as close to my lease being expired, again, you know. And, you know, when my director called me and told me that they was, you know, gonna lay me off, and, you know, while I was on the phone with him, you know, the Lord spoke to me, and he was like, you know, now's the time to move, my child. And I told him that, I said, I'm gonna be okay. I said, you know, my lease is up in June, and I said, you know, why, you know, now would be the time for me to move. And I said, you know, I done thought about moving to Atlanta. And he was like, no, I don't want to lose you like this. We got a good team. He was like, you know, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna open back up, and, you know, this, that, and the third. And the day that, because, you know, they were doing the phases to let businesses open back up. Well, when it was time for the casinos to open back up, all the casinos was releasing their publications to the newspaper and to the news station, letting them know what was the plan, you know, for them reopening. You know, how many guests they were gonna allow, you know, how the social distance was gonna go, and all that. Their plan, they was laying it out.
Mm-hmm.
And our casino sent out a publication said that they was closing permanently, and they did not let the employees know ahead of time.
Oh wow!
So yeah. So I was like, that just confirms it, you know, because, you know, after I got laid off, you know, I had talked to Akilah. And she was like, yeah, that sounds like it, you know what I'm saying, it meant to be that for you to go ahead and move. So, you know, I was ready. You know, I was already mentally ready. You know, I felt bad for my fellow coworkers, because that's 420 some people that lost their job. And, you know, I just prayed that, you know what I'm saying, the Lord guide them the way he was guiding me. Because I knew he was leading me somewhere that I needed to be. And, you know, I was just excited. You know, I was like, this new chapter is it. And, you know, I was mostly excited because, you know, we had, you know, America in our family. You know, my auntie is 54 years young, became a first-time mom. And this auntie, when me and Akilah had both, you know, I think we were 33 and 31, something like that. We had both, we were both in our 30s. And she told us, you know, because we don't have any kids and we not married now, she was like, y'all need to freeze y'all eggs. And we were like, what in the world?
Kind of
like, and y'all can freeze eggs? Like, what is she talking? Freeze an egg?
Freeze
what
the
egg? Like, what is she talking? You know? And, you know, apparently she wasn't playing, you know, because, you know, her and my uncle, you know, they was giving a big old healthy blessing to a young lady, you know, that served as her gestational surrogate, you know, so it's my auntie's biological child. But, you know, just beautiful, beautiful blessing, you know, that auntie who was much like a mother, she was one of the mother figures in my life that, you know, that had a hand in raising me. My brother sister and many cousins, you know, she was that auntie, how me and Akilah is. Like, me and Akilah both the only one without kids and on both sides of our family.
Okay.
And we are that auntie, you know, like, you know, the auntie is gonna get, you know, the prom stuff or, you know, the party stuff, whatever you need. They know the auntie to call. And that is us. And so it was just like, just a joy that my auntie who has given so much to others, you know, just was reaping a blessing that she wanted, you know, a very long time. And then I got here and found out she had a demon baby, you know, that likes to fight people all the time.
Bree is not a demon
that
baby.
That never sleeps, you know, she goes sleep for 10 minutes just to wake up and attack you, you know, just